Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, second semester, BA second semester, Public Administration. Today's topic, Public Choice Approach. In previous class, we have learned about the comparative public administration, new public administration, and 3 Minobo conferences. Today, in this module, we are going to discuss the few aspects which are come under the public choice approach. In this module, in the public choice approach, meaning and different thinkers who have contributed their main views on public choice approach, like William Nixon and others, Vincent Ostrom and others, we are going to learn about it. At the beginning, the public choice approach theory was propounded by the William Nixon and Vincent Ostrom and others. James Bachana is also one of the prominent person who developed the public choice approach in the public administration. Whenever you are talking about public choice approach, this public choice approach was called as a economic theory of politics. The public theory of policy making and the application of economic to the politics. So that's why this public choice approach is focused on various aspects, like the governmental aspects. It's mainly focused on to reduce the budget and it will see the productivity. And second thing, the public choice approach. When you're talking about public choice approach, the term public choice was first used in 1967. The public choice is defined by the Dennis Muller in his article, in his work, especially. He has emphasized about the concepts, various concepts, which are come under the public choice approach. In this public choice approach, it is a study of public administration. The public choice approach involved in the minimizing the spending and maximizing the productivity in the governmental organizations. The traditional type of public administration is focused on 3E, means efficiency, effectiveness, and economy. So when you're talking about the Wilsonian type of public administration, the public administration, Wilsonian, search for the science of public administration, especially the science of public administration. He says about in the science of public administration, he remarked that in 19th century, his assistant for the practice and remarkable changes has takes place in the governmental activities, especially in the Western countries. They try to adapt the technology and new social demands, and they have the developmental competition. Due to that, to reach the expectations of people, they have started the public choice approach. In this public choice approach, this leads to search for the new paradigms in the public administration subject, in the field of public administration, like new public administration, like the public choice and critical theory, new public management, and others. This public choice approach to study the public administration, it leads to, especially this public choice approach is attack on state monopoly, means only the state has to play the everything in the present society. But they are telling that instead of state, some other organizations also need to play the role to provide the different facilities and doing the administration aspects. Due to that, this public choice approach has proposed the institutional pluralism, the monopoly. Instead of monopoly of the state, the different institutions has to involve in the administration process. And Ostrom and different others are focused the different things in this one. This public choice approach, this public choice school oppose the domination of political bureaucracy. The political leaders and bureaucrats combine over the society in the name of general will and public interest, they will try to do their work. I mean, they have their own interest. So they want to work for their own interest. The proponent of this approach, I mean, the public choice approach, they have questioned the assumptions in the bureaucracy is a neutral and it's rational. According to them, actually the bureaucrats are self-aggrading or manipulate the public resources and have their own interest different from the public interest. Due to that, they have started and proposed the public choice approach or public choice theory in the administration. So they have called for the civil servants act as their private best interest and hijack the functioning of the government. Due to that, they require the institutional pluralism in the administration process. So in the institutional pluralism, they said the different organizations have to work. Ostrom, one of the important person who supported for this, who developed this concept of public choice approach, he says that this democratic administration is to value the precise because it is the most efficient form of administration. So in the administration, the democratic administration is important one. And Ostrom sought for the replacement of bureaucracy by his public choice theory. Because as I told you, the politicians and bureaucrats work for their self-interest on the name of public interest. Due to that, Vincent Ostrom sought for the bureaucracy as to replace by the theory of public choice. The public choice school opposes the same domination and bureaucratic of this one. So they want to utilize the government services and the resources in a proper manner. So due to that, they have supported for this public choice theory and proposed the public choice theory. The public choice theory use of economic tool to deal with the traditional problems of political science. In a political science, it is a subset of positive political theory. And it was proposed by the economic scholars, especially economic scholars in 1960s. Vincent Ostrom is a propagandist in the theory of public policy. He says that the variety and different organizational arrangements can be used to provide different services, public goods and services. So for that, we need the multi-organization arrangements to fulfill the people needs. So we require the multi-organizations here. And Ostrom viewpoint of public approach, according to his opinion, the public choice approach is ascertained or deals with the few aspects which are come under. According to his opinion, this is opposite to the bureaucracy and declaring it is an anti-bureaucratic aspect. And he says that it is a favor of decentralization and a participation of mass or public in the public administration. And Ostrom believes that public choice approach is a concept of institutional pluralism. And he says that decision-making process should be democratic. Means we need to remember here, he's not denies the democratic type of administration. He's not denies and he's strongly supporting the democratic type of administration. But in the democratic type of administration, he want to facilitate, he want to give the chance to the institutional pluralism. Means other organization along with the government has to involve in this one. And this public choice approach, according to Vincent Ostrom, it is opposed to the politics and administrative dichotomy and hierarchical ordering. It is opposite to the hierarchical ordering also. And this public choice approach have the few features. So we will try to know the few features of public choice approach. There are few features in the public choice approach. First one, it is the anti-bureaucratic approach. It is the anti-bureaucratic approach, means it is critics of bureaucratic model type of administration, because the bureaucrats, they work for the self-interest. Due to that reason, maybe this is the anti-bureaucratic approach, and it is encouraged to the institutional pluralism in the public services. It supports the plurality of the governments, means the public agencies need to work for the consumer preference, the plurality of organizations. Now in the after LPG era, we have seen the plurality in the governments. So the government is providing different services along with the different organization. Means there are multi organizations also is here and multi institutions also is here, which are work along with the government. And the features of public choice approach, it applies the economic logic to the problems of public services like distribution and other things. It stands for the diverse decision making. The public choice, one of the feature, it's a decision making, the diverse decision making centers. It's encourage more competition and it's emphasized on the privatization and contracting and outsourcing the services to reduce the wastage, and it's less dissemination of information for public benefit about the availability of alternatives to the public services. So the public choice theory is based on these things. These are the features of public choice approach. So we can say that one, the features of public choice approach, it is the anti-bureaucratic approach. It's required or it's encouraged the institutional pluralism. It supports the plurality of the government and it stands for the diverse decision-making centers. It's encouraged the competition and it emphasizes the privatization and contracting out. So these are the few features which are come under the public choice approach. And after the public choice approach, different features, we can go with the different opinions and major assumptions of public choice theory or public choice approach. So the public choice approach or public choice theory have the few assumptions. First assumption is that it focus on individual, assuming that the individual decision maker, like the traditional economic man, we need the rational and their work for this self this thing. So that's why self-interested and seeks to maximizing her own utilities. So this is the first assumption. And another assumption of this one, it's focus on public good. And it's a different kinds of decision rules or the decision institutions will be result in the different approaches. So these are the different assumptions in the public choice approach or public choice theory. The one of the prominent thinker, Wilson Nixon, he defines that he has this different views on public choice approach. According to he has the economic program pursued by the Ronald Dent. On the base of this one, he says that reducing the public spending, taxes, and government regulation, and controlling the money supply. So his opinion, Nixon opined that the government should reduce the public spending and taxes and government regulations and control the money supply. So this is the view on public choice approach, which is expressed by the William Nixon. And he says that bureaucrats generally act in their own self-interest. So William Nixon expressed all his views in his book, The Representative Government, which was published in 1971 and proposed the general rule term and known for the budget maximizing model. And bureaucrats will always attempt to maximizing their own budget and power. In this representative government book, he explained the few concepts and he opined on the government and bureaucrats also is here. So next one, in the Nixon view, public point of view, he says that bureaucracy are difficult to monitor. It's a difficult to monitor. So they are saying that for the public good, they will use the public money, for this self-interest. So in addition to these one, because can be applied not only for the satisfying the citizenry as whole, but often provide a good services to the public at good. Next one, we can discuss the government in the new right perspective. So in the public choice theory, at the time of economic crisis in 1980 in the all over the world, this public choice theory is misleading and divert. So due to that, they have focused on the different ideas. It has outlined that free to choose. So public have the choice to choose their services or choose a betterment, and whatever they want, they can choose. In this one, the government new right perspective. So in the new right perspective, the people have to choose something, whatever they need, what they want about the wages and industries and some other things. So in the part of this one, the political economics, the works of the political economics, they define that this community scholars has been composed predominantly of political economics, concentrated with the public investment and public expenditure. So in the public choice approach, they have focused on the different type of budget process like PPB, program budget planning and programming budget system, and PPBS, planning and programming budget process, and different budget process to control the money, to control the government budget in this one. So most of the economists, political economics in the public choice tradition began with the individual as a basic unit for the analysis here. And second concern of the political economist in this concept, the political choice tradition is with the conceptualization of public good as a type of event associated with the services of people. And the different concepts also which are come under here, we can say that one majority vote for their work. The main recommendations of the public choice theory is here. This is the important one which generally they're asking the question in the examinations. The main concepts which are come under the main recommendations which are come under the public choice theory is here. First, this public choice theory is reducing the discretionary power of the politicians and the government. So they want to minimize the bureaucrats role and government role and reducing the government monopoly, means the government working in every aspect. So they want multi-type of governments and multi-dimensional governments or institutional pluralism they want. And another recommendation of this one, reforming the organization-based principle type of authority. And in this one, the role of the government operation should be shift to the diverse advisory and regulatory type of areas and functions like providing education, health facilities, and optional for the government. It should be optional. It's not compulsory. It means that the functions like providing education, health facilities should be optional for the government. Of course, in the globalization era, these services as provided by the different private organizations. But developing countries like India, the education and health should be provided by the government, because we can see that in Indian population, majority of people, they are poor people. So due to that, the government organization or the government has to provide better education and best medical facilities to the people. So another main recommendation of this public choice theory, another theory is that it is focus. The big government should be give a way to land in governments, small governments. So government the size should be reduced. So the bureaucrat size should be reduced easier. So when we reduce this one, for the public interest, the private organization will enter. And for the public interest, the private organization will work well. So due to that, the public choice theory is main recommendation of this one. Then expenditure incurred by the government sector should be reduced. And among the public agencies, we need a competition, and the competition should be encouraged by the government to provide the services. And self-seeking behavior of government. We need the self-seeking. The government have to rectify. Government have to take the feedback whether they are doing the services according to public choice or public opinion or not. Government should not work for the status quo. So as it is. So these are the main concepts which are come under the public choice approach or public choice theory. Once again, repeat you, the public choice theory, in the public choice theory, we need to remember the few concepts which are come under here. Who is the important person in the public choice theory? We need to write William Nixon and Vincent Ostrom and James Buchanan, and their writings and their contributions also we need to explain in the examination point of view. So they will ask the question is here, write a note on public choice theory. and what are the contributions of William Nixon, and what is the opinion of William Nixon on public choice approach. So these are the few questions, and frequently they are asking the examinations. So you please keep in mind these questions. And what are the features of public choice approach? You need to remember the features also. They are asking the question about the features, different features of public choice approach. Next, go to the another concepts which is come under this one. There is a few questions. Let me explain these questions. Please look at these questions for your reference. So that discuss the causes for the evolution of public choice approach and identify the major conceptual debates of public choice approach, and what are the major recommendations of public school of public administration. Here we need to write the main recommendations last, which we discussed. And last one, the second section, they're asking the question, what do you understand by the public choice approach? Means, what is the public choice approach we need to write? And features, discuss the features of public choice approach. Write the main features of public choice approach and explain the Nixon's views on public choice approach. So you need to write the Nixon ideas or views on public choice approach. I hope this is clear to everyone. Then I will go to the next concept and another concept which is come under the new public management. Any questions in this topic? Dear students, any doubts in this topic? Okay, now I will go to the new public management. Then first, what is the new public management? The public administration generally concerned with the efficiency and economy is here. And the idea since the administration become result oriented and productive oriented. So classical thinkers like Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor, Luther Gulick, Lendal Urwick, they have emphasized 3E concepts. The efficiency, economy of administration, they have emphasized. And this new public management lead to search for the new paradigms in the public administration, like new public administration, like public choice theory and critical theory. New public management is also new concept in this one. This new public management draws the managerial techniques and practices mainly from the private sector. So in the administration process, the management, how they need to act and what type of principles they need to practice. So this public management, new public management emphasize they need to practice the private type of practices, private sector principles, the developmental principles they need to practice in this one. Because of in the changing globalization era, they need to practice the different management techniques in the administration process. So due to that, we have the concept of new public management is here. In the new public management, we have the prominent thinkers or proponents in this theory, especially the new public management, which evolved in the 1980s. They make the public sector more business-like and to provide the efficiency of the government. Means the new public management emphasize or focus the business of the government like a business. Means in the business, everybody, the businessman or entrepreneur will look after the profit in the organization. Likewise, similarly, in the government also, the government sector also, they need to see the profit or the progress in this one. So it is emphasized centrality of the citizen who were in the recipients of the services and consumers to the public sector. So the term new public management used first time by the Christopher Hood in 1991. So in his research paper titled The New Public Administration, New Public Management for All Seasons, this idea was further elaborated by the David Osborne and Ted Gabler in his book Reinventing the Government in 1992. Means the new public management started in 1980s. The main focus of this new public management, business to improve the government. The main motto of this NPM is increase the efficiency of the government. So it is emphasized on the citizen focus and client orientation type of administration. This NPM first used by the new public management, the first used by the terminology, the term first used by the Christopher Hood, and it is further developed by the David Osborne and Ted Gabler in their book. And you can see their images also. These persons, these thinkers are, first one is Charles Hood, who used the first in 1991, and second person is David Osborne. And this is his book. The both David Austin and Ted Gabler, they wrote the book Reinventing Government, how the entrepreneurial spirit is transforming the public sector. So this is the images about the new public management authors and the prominent thinkers in this one. This new public management emerged out a Reaganian type of administration process or economic system. So according to Hood, new public management moves away from the traditional type of administration and public bureaucracy, and such as procedural safeguards and administration restriction. So the size of bureaucracy and cost of administration come in for the sharp criticism by these new public management thinkers. So they have criticized the government investment and the government budget process. So they have criticized and they want to follow the Western countries in the 1980s and 90s forced to search for the new management style, new administration style in the worldwide. So they have started this one. One of the most influential factor leading to the emergence of new public management has in the historical shift from the state ideology. In 1970s, advanced capitalist countries toward new neoliberal framework, which reject the welfare state and oppose the large public sector. They have opposed the public sector and doubts on the government. They have the doubts on the government. They don't want to believe the government and they won't have the good opinion on the government and blame the public bureaucracy. So this is the reason. And new public management system propose more decentralization and control of the resources and exploring the other services delivery models to achieve the best results in the country or in the nations. So new public management, the scope of new public management, it's a focus. The new public management especially focus on different aspects which are common. It's focus on 7 elements majorly. It's a professional management practice in the public sector, explains the standards and measures for the performance, greater emphasis on output, means in the scope of new public management, it will focus on outcome and emphasize on the control of the budget process and shift the disaggregation of the units in the public sector and shift the greater competition in the public sector, means they want to competition in the public sector and they are focusing on the private sector or private type of management and stress on the greater discipline and permanency in the resources. I mean, use the proper resources here. And core theme of this new public management here we have discussing is here. For example, they are discussing the self-regulatory powers and a greater consumers orientation type of. They are encourage the entrepreneurial government and they introduce the new forms of corporate government, new type of corporate government. They want to introduce and evolve the quasi-market system and they want to introduce replace the management hierarchy with the management of contracting. So these are the few aspects, especially then the scope of new public management and reasons for this new public management. There are different reasons which are come under the new public management. Here, reason is the failure of the government to provide the services to the people. Due to that, the world nations will try to practice the different type of management principles which are based on the private type of organizations. Means due to the privatization, development and urbanization, rapid growth in the societies, the present principles of government or activities of government will not meet the needs of the people. So due to that, in the global wise, in the world wise, NPM, they want to split it. The NPM ascertained for this one. And next one, new public management and new shift, new paradigm for these governments. Means new public management especially focused on management, and new public management has characterized as a new paradigm. Paradigm is nothing but it's a sample, it's a model. So this NPM, new public management, is a new model. It's reducing the government role and it encourages the private sector and private management type of this. So in the public administration, there have been numerous claims of the paradigms and number of changes in the government process, in the bureaucracy. And after the post-bureaucratic also, they supported for the entrepreneurial government. So this new public management, the model, the sample is based on one, the landmark is one of the meeting which was conducted by the administrative thinkers, especially in Cyrus University. So this meeting was conducted by the National Public Management Research Conference, and another conference which was held at Commonwealth Association for the Public Administration and Management at Canada in 1994. These are the few models. It gives the few models, setting models for the new public administration or new public management in the world. So they focused on performance and client orientation and promo market culture in the new public management. And in the new public management, there are components of the new public management. Few components are there. It's a shift of operation and responsibility from the central departments and the specific agencies. It simplifies the organizational structure. This new public management simplifies it. And this new public management have the different components. According to Paulette, he says the different elements which are come under the components of new public management. New public management want to reduce the budget. So cost cutting, we can say that one. Cost cutting, capping the budget and greater transparency in the resource allocation. Means the properly after allocation of the budget, they will check whether the particular amount, that particular budget is used by the government or bureaucrats for the particular purpose. And first they will focus on cutting the cost cutting. They will reduce the budget amount and disaggregation and traditional bureaucratic administration and decentralized management is here, and separating the functions and providing the provide by the different public services and establishing the market and quasi-market mechanism. So new public management, especially it has the components. It's a component is the first is cost cutting and disaggregating the traditional bureaucratic type of organization, decentralizing the management and to provide the different services by the public agencies and separating the functions of the public services and establishing the market and quasi-market mechanism. And they want to emphasize and the performance and target oriented. They will see the output also. And they're introducing the different concepts like contracting, performance related pay, and local determination of the payment and conditions also. We have seen this performance related payments in the FW rigs and others. Taylor, they have supposed for this type of payments. If a person did the more work, they will get the more payment. So this is also new public management. The Taylor is also, of course, we can say that one, that concept is also come under the new public management. Means if a person do the more work, then he will get the more salary or more benefits. Means the salary and everything is based on work performance. Means new public management, the parameter that they will check the work process, efficiency in the particular work, and saving the budget is also they will check it like private organization. And another aspect of this new public management, the features of new public management, especially the traditional output-oriented administration need to replace by the process-oriented administration. And the performance indicators they want. They want to evaluation the performance related to the pay and work and quality and the quality of the work. So they want some parameters to check it. And the customers replace the citizen and production line type of system they want to introduce. and they want to emphasize on cost cutting rather than spending and do more better with a less amount. So they want to reduce the budget, and in the small budget, they want to see the efficiency and progress in the work. So this is also comes under the one of the feature of new public management. And they rejected the, they supported for the dichotomy in the administration. Means along with the government, the private organizations also need to work easier. The purpose of ownership seen in the efficient management. And on the financial side, budget in terms of simple input and output quantities replaced by the accurate accounting. So these are the few features which are come under this one. And NPM, New Public Management, neo-taylorism. What is neo-taylorism? Neo-taylorism, many scholars point out that it has the historical roots in the two theories. Means the neo-taylorism is one of the part in the new public management. Means the public choice theory and neo-taylorism is a part of new public management. Then what is new taylorism? Neo-taylorism. What is the public choice theory? Generally, the public choice theory in previous we have discussed. Public choice theory concerned with the replacing the government with the market. And the public choice theory encourages the institutional pluralism. So the same neo-taylorism is also focused on that one. And neo-taylorism says that internal organizations of the bureaucracy introduce certain techniques, methods like the private organization. Means the neo-taylorism is supported for the internal organizations need to practice different techniques, different methods like the private organizations. So this public choice theory focus on relationship between internal and external cause and effect. So when you're talking about the management, the cause of bad management also takes place here. So according to neo-taylorism, lies with the administration itself. Means the bad management we can see in the administration. So that's why they want to eliminate, they want to reduce the bad management system with the different techniques and the different models. So that is proposed by the neo-taylorism. So neo-taylorism focus on bureaucracy has to introduce with the few techniques and few methods like the private organization, like the private management, like the private sector. So it has focused on that one. And it's a lack of personal responsibility among the administration. So neo-taylorism says that there is no growth in the government organization because of the personal responsibility need to taken by the administrators. So this is the one of the problems here. And neo-taylorism has focused, and it is suggested in few areas we can focus, we can discuss is here. These three areas mainly, neo-taylorism focus on application of performance and evaluation techniques and different methods and different models of achieving. And this neo-taylorism assigning the personal responsibility for each employee and performance production process. They want to see the performance production process. Means neo-taylorism has suggested first one, application of performance evaluation techniques and methods. And they want to assign personal responsibility for the work process. And we need to give the rewards if any employee or any organization or department achieve the up to mark level. The goals or conditions which are stipulated or decided by the government or the organization, if they fulfill that, if they reach the up to mark level, we need to award them. We need to give the reward to them and punish underperformance. So it's like the scientific management theory. So it looks like that type of theories here. So like in this one, and follow up the private sector model. So these are the few suggestions which are given by the neo-taylorism. So we have a question is here, write about the neo-taylorism. What do you mean by neo-taylorism? Neo-taylorism, again repeats that answer. Neo-taylorism is one of the part and for the new public management. Means new public management is based on the public choice theory and neo-taylorism. As you know that public choice theory is based on replacing the government with the markets, and it's encouraged the institutional pluralism. Neo-taylorism is also concentrate on the different techniques and different models like the private organization. So neo-taylorism is supposed or suggested the few suggestions is here: application, performance evaluation, and different techniques and methods, and assign the personal responsibility and check the performance. Means then there are some parameters for the performance evaluation test. So reward for the best work and punish who are not work properly. So punish them. So these are the come under these aspects of the neo-taylorism. After the neo-taylorism, we can go with the other concepts which are come under the new public management, that is a entrepreneurial government. So this entrepreneurial government, when you're talking about entrepreneurial government, we need to remember that Osborne Gabler book, An Entrepreneurial Government. So Osborne Bond, he wrote the book is 1992. He focused the entrepreneurial government, how the government has to work like an entrepreneur, like a businessman. So he wrote that book, Reinventing Government. In that book, he has elaborated the different concepts and views on the government. So he says that Gabler, Osborne and Gabler says that have come out with the another prescription of what called the entrepreneurial government. An elaborate case has been made out to transform the bureaucratic government into entrepreneurial government. Means in the entrepreneurial government, Osborne and Gabler, they says that we need to replace that government and elaborate the government and transform the bureaucracy with the entrepreneurial government. So their prescription is not abolish the government. They are not saying to abolish the government, but reinvent, rechange that, modify that. Means the functions of the bureaucrats has to change. So government in their version should be adapt, responsive, and they will to work with the efficiently and effectively. So this is the entrepreneurial government concept. Means in the entrepreneurial government has to change and government has to replace with the different concepts and they need to follow the different ideas. So only the such a government will capable for producing quality goods and services, and a government has to response to the customers. So Gabler and Osborne in his book Reinventing Government, they have proposed the entrepreneurial government principles, few principles which are come under his ear we can discuss. The first one we can say that one, the catalyst government. Means government should engage itself in the steering than rowing. Means its government have to provide the facilities in this one. And next one, community owned government. Means citizen focused government. So government should empower or strengthen the citizens, and government have to play important role to solve the problems of people. So this is the entrepreneurial government concept. And next one, government should be competitive with the private organizations and other organizations, and it has to increase the competition between the different services. And government should provide the better services, the best performance. And government at the same time need to reduce the cost of that services. Means they feel that the government is wasting the money. Due to that, they need to control that wastage. And the government should be mission-driven government. So in the entrepreneurial government, Gabler says that, Osborne and Gabler says that entrepreneurial type of government. Government should be driven the goals, not the rules. So government also works with the goals, and government should work result-oriented government. Government should identify the targets. Government should work with the mission. So this is a result-oriented government. And government should be customer-driven government. Means the customer or the people, what they require, what they want. So according to their opinion, government need to work. Means it has to satisfy the citizens, satisfy the clients, but not the bureaucrats. Then enterprising government. Government should emphasize on earning money rather than spending. Means government also sets for the government resources, generating the resources, income resources by the different taxes. So anticipatory government means government need to guess or anticipate the problems, the future problems with the some aspect aspect, yes, with this aspect, with this
Sir, you muted, sir.